Guys, this week we have an email.
Oh, I'm really excited, I swear.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the VGBits Bitcast. It is still August 24th. We're still recording this all in the same day, but in an effort to do things a little different, this is now up for Friday, and it's now we had just finished the new segment that you saw earlier on Wednesday, so it's time for a little fun. Mm-hmm. It's time for a little entertainment. It's time for no more Paul Walker jokes. We're going to move right on to email. If you have an email that you want read on the VG Bitcast, you can send your emails to bitcast@vgbits.com. That's bitcast@vgbits.com. We will read them. I promise. Guys, this week we have an email.
Oh, I'm really excited, I swear.
With the subject line, email our good buddy Icarus. What?
I said, what else would it be?
It is I'm not going to lie. That is 90% of the email subject lines that we get. I think
the only one who didn't do that was me.
I do believe everybody loves to hear me say email in such an exaggerated tone. But I digress. Our good buddy Icarus has sent us another email for this week, and it's one that I actually particularly am fond of. He says, "Hey guys, for this week's question, I was wondering, what do you think about games like World of Warcraft that can keep people playing it for so long?" And then there's a little caveat here. It says, "Also for Cody, would you be interested in the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica D&D book? Their crossover with Magic the Gathering. Let's start with the Magic the Gathering crossover with Cody." So, Cody, are you interested?
My short answer, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. My short answer is yes. My long answer is yes.
A man of few words.
Yes.
Honestly, I love collecting all the various like D&D supplemental material. I'm subscribed to a few different websites that'll give me like free PDFs of homebrews supplemental material that I can add to D&D campaigns, tons of which I have not actually gone through and probably should at some point. But I would absolutely love the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica D&D crossover book with Magic the Gathering, because that sounds like it would be a lot of fun.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, they're adding new races in with Ravnica.
Oh, is this a book that's coming out?
Yes, it's coming out. And let's see.
I didn't realize that it was a.
Oh yeah,
they've already released.
Let's see. Here it is.
I heard about it, but I didn't know it was something. Yeah, it's coming out in November.
Yeah, you can pre-order it at your local game store.
I heard about it, but I had no idea that it wasn't out already.
Nope, it's coming soon. I was trying to see what the new races. 4 new races are introduced in this in Ravnica, and I'm trying. Yeah, there's supposed to be 4 new races. I was trying to figure out what it was, but I don't see it anywhere.
I don't see any info about it yet.
No, may have to wait till it gets closer. I do remember hearing that information. So you are very much interested then.
Oh yeah, I would love that. As soon as Xanathar's came out, I believe I picked that one up. I need to pick up Volo's Guide to Monsters at some point. But yeah, anything that gives me more monsters or character choices, basically anything else to put me into a downward tailspin of writer's block, I want it.
You know what I need to do? I need to add you to my campaign that I have on D&D Beyond. because
Oh.
I have all those. I have Xanthar's Guide to Everything.
The other stuff.
Yeah, everything else that you just said. I've blanked. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I've got PDFs for everything, which I think I actually sent to you.
Yes.
But I also want the hardback because as much as I love PDFs and it can make it super easy to like search through things, just Control F and then type in what you're looking for. I just for some reason don't like trying to find things on a PDF. There's just something about it that I just don't like. I would rather have the book in front of me and flip through the pages than I would sit there and try and scroll through a PDF.
Have you tried? Now, this is just me spitballing here. D&D Beyond yet?
I looked at it when they finally officially released it because I was also part of the beta, and they really didn't have much during the beta that helped too much. But I looked at it when it released, at least the free version, and it was interesting. They had a few things, but they were missing a lot of the like character customization. Like a lot of it was behind paywall, which I wasn't fond of. Like if you're gonna give someone the ability to play a tabletop RPG that you're supposed to do whatever you want with, why are you locking these certain characters or classes or abilities behind a paywall when they're typically open in any other sort? Like if I were to go to a game store and say I want to play D&D, and they're like, all right, let's make a character, like I have access to it, I can just do it.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. D&D Beyond is like you would go over to your friend's house or to a game store. That person already owns all the stuff. At D&D Beyond, if the GM is behind the paywall, if they've paid for that, then you also get access to all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah, when you're in their campaign, you get access to all of that stuff.
Yeah. So, like, I have, since I am a GM and I subscribe to that portion of D&D Beyond, I have almost everything. I think I don't have some of the adventures, but I've been considering getting the legendary pack that they offer. It's only going to be like an extra couple $100, and then I'll have every. In relation to what I've bought versus what the actual legendary package covers, it's only a couple of $100 more. I think it was like $160 more or less.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll have access to everything. So, like for all the support manuals and everything, I don't have the with the Terrapin characters. I don't the Tortuga, or is that Tortuga? I think is what it is. I don't have that yet.
Oh yeah, the turtle. Yeah.
Yeah, the turtle. But I have everything else. So I could literally add you into my campaign, and then you would have access to everything on D&D Beyond's website. It's interesting the way they do it. It's supposed to literally just be like actual tabletop gaming, like TJ said. So
Yeah,
we should experiment with that.
Yeah, we absolutely should, because I have the app on my phone. I'll have to download it on my iPad and see how it looks on like a bigger touchscreen mobile device.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be very useful.
It's very useful, actually. I've done some searching on it whenever I've been playing around with it. It's just like it puts everything at your fingertips pretty fast.
Let you make custom weapons too.
Yes, it does.
I made a custom
That's really
weapon,
cool.
which one day we'll get to show the world.
I will have the D&D adventure for the channel at some point.
Yeah. Even if we have to do it over Discord.
Absolutely.
I want to get things. I want to get it going. I really do. In fact, I actually want to write my own campaign, just because it's going to be that much fun.
Yeah.
Because I've got a bunch of ideas. I may do a small one-shot campaign just to see what I can do. Because I'm creative enough.
I'm going to derail that.
Oh, it'll be glorious. I can't wait. I need to be able to get some players in on this.
Just be like, and so you'll need to go. Nope. I'm leaving.
I'm going to go to the mountains. All right, well, you died.
That's called railroading, Dad. No, you can't do that. That's a bad GM move.
If I wanted to play an on-the-rails game, I would have just picked up an RPG.
Yeah. We can do a freeform.
Well, I mean,
Have no plans at all and
well,
see where we go.
well, no, you don't want to do that because then it'll be most of it. Time will be you trying to put together the next scene. Yeah.
I don't know.
The thing
How
is,
fast you can think.
yeah, like I mean, if I were a GM and people started to derail, I would just transplant scenes that I already wanted to do and just ahead of them. Be like, hey, you made it into this place. You made it.
Good job. Wait, we were in the ice mountains. Now
These
you're
are-
in a fiery desert.
These are fire ice.
Fire ice.
Hot ice.
It's icy hot.
You can roll around. All your wounds feel better.
Yay.
Anywho.
Yeah, sorry about that.
The land of healing.
So you are very much interested in the upcoming Magic the Gathering crossover.
Yeah, I would be very interested in that book, reading it, getting my hands on it in some way, shape, or form. One day, I would like to own all of the supplemental D&D 5e books, and hopefully they don't come out with 6e anytime soon, because
No
then I got to
kidding.
start all over.
I don't think they will.
Nobody wants to start over right now. All right. So now that we have covered the D&D portion of this email, let's talk about World of Warcraft and MMORPGs, guys. You've heard him. What do you think it is about the games like that keep people playing for so long?
I am sure that every company out there that's making MMOs would like to know that exact
What
answer.
Blizzard is doing?
Yeah. And I think what Blizzard is doing is nearly everything Blizzard makes is really good.
Mm-hmm.
The games look really good. I can't say that for WoW because I'm really not a fan of WoW, but Blizzard employs some of the best writers in the industry. So the stories are very good. The games all work well from what I've seen. I haven't heard people, oh, it's buggy. I mean, it's gaming and it's MMOs and it's constantly changing environments, so there's going to be a lot of bugs. But I mean, I haven't heard of a game breaking bug since that one virus that went around killing everyone.
True. That was great, though.
That was
so
yeah.
much lore.
There was a virus?
Well, it wasn't. It was an in-game virus. Like your characters would get sick, and it had gotten out from a boss into a town and spread from there.
It infected an NPC character, and it wasn't supposed to infect
Yeah.
NPC characters. So therefore, a plague spread through an entire city.
That's the word I was looking for. A plague, not a virus.
Yeah.
In World of Warcraft?
Yes.
It was amazing.
It was amazing lore that got added to the game because of this.
They actually did. Scientists did studies on how that spread because it mimicked the way viruses spread.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I never heard about that. I'm surprised.
I recommend reading up that story. It was really cool.
So let's ask our resident World of Warcraft player this question first.
Why are you still playing?
Why are you still playing, Michael?
Well, it has to be the world and the story and the lore. Before World of Warcraft was even a thing, the games, there was Warcraft and Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3
Yeah.
that had amazing stories because it wasn't so the original game was called Warcraft, Orcs and Humans.
Yeah.
It wasn't so black and white as orcs. The orcs are the bad guys and the humans are the good guys. You can play as bad or good. It was like there was characters that you cared for on both sides that were really interesting. You're like, oh shit, I didn't expect to be rooting for this character or whatever.
Yeah.
And just the way they built it up, the way they built up the story and the lore, it's always been super deep and complex. And they throw a ton of little things in that just are really interesting once you notice them, and you're like, huh, it gets your mind going. You're like, okay, now I got to think back on something that happened in one of the previous expansions or games, for instance. And they do that with all their stories, not just World of Warcraft. They do that with StarCraft, and I know that this is supposed to be about that MMOs, but Blizzard's always been good about doing that. I think that's the reason why World of Warcraft in particular has been extremely popular and still has a ton of people playing it. Speaking of which, I heard that Battle for Azeroth what was it, broke like 2 million concurrent players or something like that.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
And
Wow.
yeah, it's more popular than even the previous expansion which was also really good.
Yeah.
Didn't they change the way that they do their expansions now? Instead of purchasing expansions, it's all they just launch the expansion and you pay for a monthly subscription?
No, you still have to buy the expansions as they're releasing. But like some of the original games and expansions were just so old and out of date that they just included a lot of them in, like, whenever you bought Legion, I think they started it with Legion. Once you bought Legion expansion, it was like, if you buy Legion, you'll just have every expansion previous, you know. We'll give you the base game, then we'll give you Wrath of the Lich King, we'll give you Burning Crusade, we'll give you Mists of Pandaria, and Warlords of Draenor, and then Legion.
What about Cataclysm?
Cataclysm too. Sorry. I mean, you have to have Cataclysm because Cataclysm literally permanently changed how the world looks in some of the areas. So that's just part of the game now. So, that's what they started doing, and but yeah, that's what my thoughts are. Is the reason why people are still super interested in it is because, I mean, it's been around forever. 2004, I think, since 2004.
Right.
And then it's only upgraded since then. With a lot of people prefer the PvP and stuff in it, and like there used to be a ton of like servers dedicated to like just player versus environment PvE or PvP or RP. Like a lot of people like to roleplay in that and make their own characters into the Warcraft world too. So
I remember that.
Yeah. They actually now with the release of Battle for Azeroth combined PvE and PvP servers. So now there's no like difference between them. So you can go into like the main city, like the Horde capital of Orgrimmar or the Alliance capital of Stormwind, and change what it's called a war mode. You can turn that on or off, so you can completely play the game without having to worry about any PvP at all. You don't have to worry about anybody coming and attacking you if you have it off. But if you want to and get like maybe some extra bonuses while you're leveling, you can turn it on and fight other faction members and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, they included that, which is something that a lot of people really enjoyed. But yeah, the story, the lore, the characters, especially with Battle for Azeroth, it feels more focused on some of the characters in like on the Alliance side and Horde side, and you're getting to learn more about them. And again, with the release of Battle for Azeroth, they have started releasing cinematics, like fully rendered CG cinematics.
Oh yeah, I saw those. I was like, wow, that's different.
They are fantastic. They just add more to it,
Yeah.
Like there's this character that's been beloved on the Horde side for a long time, even by Alliance members. He goes by Overlord Sourfang, and he's a well-known orc that's just been. He's all about honor in on the Horde side. He's he's always fought for honor. He had a big part in Wrath of the Lich King, and then they had this cinematic that released just before Battle for Azeroth launched, and it went more into his character and about his thoughts on what's going on currently in the story. And it made both Horde and Alliance players just go, holy shit, wow, that was really good. And they're just doing that, the little cinematics and stuff, just adds a whole lot more to the game, I think.
I'm going to take it in a little different direction myself, because you've covered pretty much World of Warcraft and why people basically play is because of kind of the story
World
and
of
everything.
Warcraft, yeah.
I'm going to go in the direction that it's legitimately everybody gets to live out their fantasy, because for me, it was City of Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
That was the ultimate MMO that I played back in the day and hardcore played.
if City of Heroes were still out, I wouldn't be subscribed to World of Warcraft.
Oh, no
right now.
doubt. I think
I'd be playing City of Heroes.
We'd be playing some more City of Heroes because
Hell yeah.
there is a need for a hero game right now.
Yeah.
Most definitely. But I was talking to somebody here not too terribly long ago, and I was explaining where the City of Hero character came from. And I was explaining the backstory and how we wrote the backstory into the actual games.
Yeah, and other people can read them.
Yeah, and people can sit there and read your backstories that you wrote in.
Yeah.
Like for one of the characters that I had was called Athos 2.0. He was a robot that was part of the Cray organization that escaped from their labs and then is turned against them to fight them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all part of a musketeer project is what it was called. So there was Athos, there was Aramis, there was Porthos, there was D'Artagnan, and we all ran around, and that was kind of the little superhero thing we did. It was kind of little things like that made the game super fun for me.
Yeah.
Because we did that with the Three Musketeers. We did that with the Riders was a super group we had. It was like Riders of the Storm.
Yeah.
And then of course there's the other characters. I took a character, just Athos, as I managed to get a hold of the name at the near the end of it, and I took an ice tank all the way to level 50. It was just more or less just kind of creating that persona that you've always wanted to create.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a hero.
Me and Lucid did that with our characters too. With I did that. I had Arlandis, and he had
Grand Neo Show.
The only character I played.
Who got to level 48.
Yeah, is that as far as I got?
You got to level 48. You never took one character to 50.
And we had bios written for our characters where like they were combined.
Yeah.
So like his character, we had originally like in our background of our characters, like we were enemies.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why my character had like a robotic arm, because like his character like tore it off or something, and I got an implant. It was, I don't know, it was just little things like that.
Yeah.
Like you said, you living out your fantasy. I completely agree with you. That's another reason.
I mean, that was always the biggest thing for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved writing backstories and creating new characters. Like I would create a new character, like, people change underwear.
Yeah.
That's why you had so many character slots on the server that you could drop in.
Yeah.
City of Heroes was the, in my opinion, the best MMO to start over.
Yeah.
Again, over and over and over. It
It
really
was.
was.
Because you would have friends, you'd be like, hey, we're going to start a super group where all our characters are kids. And you're like, I'm in. So everyone would make kid versions of their characters, and you'd have a whole super group of kid characters.
You can't do that with. That's one thing I can say that World of Warcraft lacks is like a lot of the times you don't really want to start over again because it's the same thing every single time. City of Heroes felt new every time, and I don't know how, but it did.
Well, it was nice that some of the stuff that they added, that you could branch off into different directions.
That's true.
It was. They had a lot of great story that was written.
Yeah.
So
they did.
They had some good writers on that team too.
They did, and it was sad to see it go. But.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was.
I think for me the biggest thing, I mean, lore is important and obviously fun to play is extremely important, but having a really good community, which City of Heroes had a really great community.
Yeah.
Because you would have
really did.
like, I mean, you had the main area of the Atlas Park, and everyone would be there all the time, and pretty much any time during the day you'd be coming through. It's like, hey, we're giving away a shitload of money. You want to come win? Costume contest. So then
costume contest every day.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
You'd have, I don't know, 100 people in there trying to get on the platform. And then they would just pick. They'd be like, you, all line up. And it was a good time.
I remember winning one of those.
Yeah,
I actually won one of those.
Yeah, I won one or two. Which was nice because I changed costumes like I changed underwear.
Yeah. Oh, that game, it's just making me want to go back and relive the old days. I wish I could.
I always think
I
about
really
it.
wish I could. Yeah.
That's true. It would be nice to be able to play City Heroes again.
Yeah,
I miss that game a lot.
a lot. Spent so much. I spent so much time, and everyone was upset that I never hit 50. They're like, have several level 50s, and they're like, why are you still 48? And it's like, I don't really play the game anymore. I just hang out here.
Yeah, it ended up being just like a social
Yeah,
game near the end. It just felt like I need to go to Atlas Park, just hang around and be like, do the little animations like, hey,
yeah,
or the dance.
yeah. And like a lot of people knew, they know each other. Like you'd see, like,
Yeah.
hey, I did missions with that guy earlier. It was a cool guy. But that guy gave me a bunch of money. Costume contests.
I know there was a ton of like missions and a ton of like characters and enemies and stuff that you could fight against in that game.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the biggest memory I have was like, because I remember having a hard ass time with this. Like it was one of the first bosses that you ever fought in the game, and it was Frostfire.
I was gonna say Frostfire.
You remember Frostfire?
Yeah.
That's the first thing that I remember whenever I think of a boss, because I remember it being like a super long dungeon you're walking through, and it's like all frozen, and it was like, oh, this is awesome. It felt like you were actually, I don't know, it felt like I was there.
Yeah.
And I was like fighting through all these like enemies, the little lackeys, to get to the big guy, and you make it, and he's hard as fuck to defeat.
Oh yeah, that was the epitome of the raid versions on City Heroes. I can't remember what they were called.
Yeah, that's
Task Force.
Yeah.
Yes.
Task Force. Yes.
Oh man.
And the character designs were really good because you'd fight regular human enemies, and the next area you're fighting demons, and the next area you're fighting giant mechs, and then the next area you're fighting clockwork mechs, and it's just,
yeah.
I mean,
That's something too, like some of the world bosses that would just show up on the maps.
Yeah,
and
just
you're just
giant
and
monster
everybody would,
alert.
like, group together. And like I remember being low leveled and thinking, I want to try and get on that.
Yeah.
It was just instant.
Yeah.
So I mean that's kind of just not to gush about it for forever. That's
That's
literally
we were kind of reminiscing.
Yeah. It's literally, you can see the reason why right there, just for the fact that that's some of the stuff that keeps us going. So Cody, what about you? You ever do any MMOs?
Yes. I think there's 3 MMOs that I can think of off the top of my head that I played for a good bit of time growing up. One was Maple Story. The other one was Guild Wars 1.
Yes.
And then the third one was World of Warcraft. And I played all of them somewhere around the same time. I think World of Warcraft was the last one that I played. But something that kept bringing me back was... it was honestly a mix of all those. Like I've met people who are just in it for the gameplay and wanting to fight monsters and level up and get that sense of accomplishment. Some people love the social aspect to it and just getting to meet people and hang out and play with friends. Excuse me. And some people love the story and the lore, and I'm a little mix of all 3.
Mm-hmm.
With Maple Story, I started playing that because my neighbor played it and I wanted to play it with him. And so I played it and I just fell in love with kind of like the universe itself, like not necessarily the story, because I don't remember a lick of story about it, but it was just a very fantastical, like crazy place of monsters and technology and magic. And it was just a lot of fun to explore the world and see something new. And I wanted to keep leveling up because I wanted to see what the next place was. And I would hear other people in the community, while I'm fighting mushrooms, talking about gargoyles in Legoland. And I'm like, what the crap is Legoland? How do I get there?
Yeah.
And like, not even kidding, there was a Legoland in Maple Story. like I think it was level 35 or 40, somewhere around there. There's this place that just looks like it's made of Lego bricks.
That's cool.
And it was amazing. And I don't know, I really enjoyed like looking back, I realized I spent a lot of time just like hunting the same monsters and not really doing much, and they didn't really have much in the way of dungeons too well, but the community was fun and it was really interesting to explore, and they had tons of hidden secrets in the game, like hidden teleport spots that you could like just find by accident, because you use the arrow keys to move, and if you press the up button, that would like make you go through a door or use a teleport spot. So they just had hidden teleport spots throughout the world, and sometimes you would find these secret places where no one else was, filled with crazy monsters that dropped loot that you could go get, and it was just really fun to explore.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add a little bit more to that. We talked about everybody likes the lore and the gameplay and stuff like that, but there's some people that play the game and they just keep playing it because they're just that hooked on it, and they play for years and years and years without stopping. But then there's some people like me that'll play for a while and then they'll stop for a while and then they'll come back, and it's that coming back because of nostalgia reasons.
Yeah.
A lot of people I notice will play MMOs that they started with. Like there's sometimes I wish I think about going back and trying Ultima Online or Ragnarok Online or something like that, because I remember playing those back in the day and thinking, oh, I had a lot of fun back then. Maybe I should try it again. And I think nostalgia is a good reason why people keep playing games like that too.
It's
Absolutely.
true. Don't go back and play Ragnarok Online again.
Oh, I'm not going to.
I did that a while back because I was like, oh yeah, I remember playing Ragnarok Online. This is great. And then I got into the game and I'm like, this is way different from where I ever was last time.
Oh, this is bad.
Like, I wanted to just go stab some poe rings for a while. Now I've got a story as soon as I get here. Wow.
Yeah. With it, Ragnarok Online, the thing that I remember was I played it back when it was in like early alpha stage, and the only thing was Prontera City and a little area with a bunch of porings that you could fight, and that was it.
Spent many an hour stabbing
nostalgia.
porings.
Nostalgia makes you want to go back and be like, oh, I really want to play this. That's the reason why I keep saying, oh, I wish I could go back and play City of Heroes.
Yeah. If we could, we probably wouldn't want to. Or we go back and be like, because I loaded up what was that thing? It was Paragon Chat. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I loaded that up.
Well, that's more. Yeah.
I mean, sad because there's nobody there.
Yeah, I mean that's fine, but like going in, it still actually looked kind of good.
Yeah.
And you got to play with your powers. I was like, yeah, there's
good. Yeah. It's got a couple of things, but there's no actual gameplay.
Right, and I just needed it for reference pictures because I had a model of my character made, so I was like, I need pictures of this character, so I loaded that up. I
did it just for pure nostalgia. I was like, I'm gonna try this Paragon Chat just to to remake my character Arlandis, walk around as him, and see, and listen to the music.
Yeah.
Whenever you go into Atlas City, da 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 da.
I never got.
I
could not get anything else to load except for the tutorial area. I was like, this is fine.
Holy cow! The tutorial.
I
was able. Yeah, they had the tutorial area. I went to Atlas Park, and I went to. Damn it! I forgot the club. The club place.
The Paragon Dance Party or DJ Zeros?
It was I forget what it was called.
Well, which one? There was two of them. There was one that was a secret entrance.
The really big club.
Oh, that was DJ Zero.
Balcony.
Yeah, it was
DJ Zero's place.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called, but it was Zero's place.
Yeah, but I went in there, and I even went and checked out some of the other maps and stuff like that. But yeah. It's just that's all it is. It's just walking simulator now. City of Heroes has turned into a walking simulator. Pocket D, that's it.
Yeah.
Pocket D, that's it.
And the cool thing is it was in its own universe.
Heroes and villains alike could come and dance.
Oh yeah, the City of Villains expansion that came out.
You got to be on the other side, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
because they introduced masterminds, and that was an awesome place. Their power, that's what it was.
That was the best power, is the masterminds. I think on the villain side.
Oh,
but anyway,
sadness.
Yeah, nostalgia.
All right.
Yeah. So I think the answer is to do whatever you do it very well. Because when you look at the MMOs that are still around, the things they do very well.
Yeah. And
try to do all of them.
I would say, because each one of the MMOs I played, I think filled a different hole for me. Like Maple Story was that like fantastical exploration. Guild Wars, I think, was a little bit of that action hero feel, because once you get past the starter area, it feels post-apocalyptic and like you're one of the only people who can go and help fix the world, and they really give you that hero complex.
Yeah.
and then World of Warcraft was lore and social for me.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think you're right. It's definitely you do what you do and do it well. But I think there's also got to be a little bit of everything for everyone. I think Blizzard in particular does that very well with World of Warcraft. I feel like they definitely have a good foothold on that because they have dedicated writers. They have dedicated like people dedicated to making fights and mechanics and monsters and fun stuff like that. And then they have people dedicated to making the social aspect good. Like events that happen in the game. Like I remember going to Dalaran City in the Outlands and the Burning Crusade expansion, going to the inn, sitting there, and then on the hour, the Elite Tauren Chief, level 70 Elite Tauren Chieftain popping in and playing, and there were like 30 people there just cheering and dancing because of this one tiny little event, and it was cool.
Yeah, exactly. Little events like that. Like another one I can think of, just off the top of my head, was in Burning Crusade. Thrall would be walking through the Outlands, and both Horde and Alliance players alike would stop and like bow to him just for no reason because they like honored him that much in the game. Just little things like that that bring the social together and just, I don't know, just
Yeah.
It's and I always thought stuff like that was super cool in games. But yeah, do what you do well.
All right. Well, one quick question, one little quick touch, and then we'll move on. Which is going to be the end of the podcast. Do you think there's a MMO out there that you would play right now, other than World of Warcraft, Michael? For you, is there anything that is interesting?
Guild Wars 2.
I haven't played much of Guild Wars.
It's the
2.
only MMO I've played in a while.
I guess Final Fantasy 14. A lot of people are super into that right now.
True, maybe Final Fantasy 14. I could see.
Because one thing that Final Fantasy 14 is doing right is that you can do every single class and every single profession on one character. All you have to do is like you're a white mage and you're healing for parties and stuff, and you're like, I don't feel like healing anymore. I want to fight. Just switch your weapon to an axe, and then you turn into a marauder, a level 1 marauder, and you start leveling up that class. And you're like, well, I want to be my white mage again. I'm going to switch back to my white mage staff, and you turn back into your level whatever white mage that you left off on.
I've had an itch to play an MMO again.
Oh yeah,
I haven't been able to scratch it for a while.
Well, Final Fantasy 14's good.
I've played through quite a bit of it. I've got to do a dungeon though, and I can't solo a dungeon.
Oh, yeah.
And I like being a solo player, unless it was like people that I actually knew I was playing with. I don't really like playing with other people that I don't know.
I have a feeling.
All right, well, I guess that's going to do it for this week's podcast.
Yeah. I don't think I would play another MMO, honestly. I don't know. Like World of Warcraft was the last one that I played, and I liked it a lot. But I don't think I could even go back to that.
Yeah, for me, it's just like too much of a time sink.
Yeah.
Because back when I playing City of Heroes and Guild Wars, I was in school, and I had a job that I worked sometimes. So like I didn't have a lot of responsibilities. I mean, I if I had the time, maybe I would go back, but I don't think I would.
It's tough nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I'll end the podcast.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's my fault. I jumped ahead. Guys, thank you so much for joining me this week. And
Always a pleasure.
hopefully with this different format, maybe things will shake up a little bit better.
Maybe.
We'll see how long. We have really recorded a nice quality podcast for this week. So tune in next week when we will continue to either do a long form or 3 short forms. We'll find out then. So everybody, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time on the Bitcast.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.